We're back, and joining me now is Norton Bonaparte, Sanford's city manager. Thank you very much for joining me tonight, Mr. Bonaparte. How disappointed are you now in your local police department's managing of that crime scene situation, now that we have seen the video of the way they arrived back at the station, the police station, not using, they've been criticized on all of the networks, the officers in that video not taking possession of Zimmerman's clothing, Mr. Zimmerman's clothing, not having their own hands covered with plastic gloves to preserve evidence, not to contaminate anything. There's been an endless stream of law enforcement criticizing what we see in the video of your police department.
First, let me start by saying that, again, to the family, and particularly the parents of Trayvon, we extend on behalf of the city our deepest sympathies and condolences. Being a parent, can't be in to understand how it would feel to lose a son like that. In direct response to the question regarding the Sanford Police Department, I have always called for an investigation, for review, a critique of how they did. That's something that I think is very important, not just for the city of Sanford, but for the world to know that what they did was appropriate or not appropriate.
Do you think it would be appropriate for the police and the prosecutor to be speaking to George Zimmerman's father, if they did, on the night of the shooting?
I don't know if they did or they didn't do, and that's something that will come out during the investigation. I think that the special prosecutor would certainly take that into account as they make their decision on what she's going to do.
Well, in the previous segment, I played a tape of him saying, you know, he said, when asked about did they know he was a judge, he said, I didn't mention it to the police, and I didn't mention it to the state attorney's office. That was kind of buried in this interview he did last week. But it does seem to indicate there was some contact there. I mean, I'm just wondering, as you're watching all this unfold as the city manager, there must be many, many aspects of the way police work is done and has been done in Sanford that you feel needs addressing. Do you believe you're going to have to eventually bring in a new chief of police from outside of Sanford to straighten out this system?
I've asked for a review. I want to know exactly what the Sanford Police Department did, whether they did things they shouldn't have done, as you're pointing out, or if there are things that they should have done that they didn't do. That's the kind of information I want, and based upon that, we'll make a determination, both regarding Chief Lee as well as the entire Sanford Police Department.
And how is the city...
You're right, I have questions.
How is the city bearing up under this tension now? This city's known as the friendly city, I believe. That's its self-imposed label. But with the protest marches and demonstrations, none of which have turned violent in any way, but must create some sort of pressures on running that city.
It has been a challenge. We've had lots of visitors, and we have a model that we wanted them to feel welcome and accommodating. They were not here for a fun time. They were very serious, and a lot of them were very angry, and we understand that. This is very serious, and we take it that way. The city has gotten some negative comments. People that never heard of Sanford, the only thing they now know about Sanford is that Trayvon Martin was killed here. That's unfortunate. We are still a city of 53,000 people. What happened that tragic night with the shooting affected 2 people, but then it spread and it affected the entire Sanford community now around the country. I do call the fact that that was a very unfortunate interaction between 2 people. Sanford has over 53,000 people, and we're very proud of them, and we're looking forward to the fact of people getting to see the real Sanford, not just the fact that Trayvon was killed here.
Norton Bonaparte, City Manager of Sanford, Florida, thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for the opportunity.